So I thought I would do one last recording here at Daniela's place. In a few hours, a couple hours, we're going to be at the airport in Clark, and we're going to be flying back to the United States, God willing. So we just got back here to Angeles yesterday. We was in Eastwood City in Manila, Quezon City. And my voice isn't great because I got sick there again. And the room was really nice. You could see the videos. I think I posted some or will post some. The room's really nice, but there was a pungent smell that just consistently kept getting worse and worse throughout the week. We were there for I think 8 days, 7, 8 days, something like that, or 7 days, 8 days. I can't remember, but the point is, the smell kept getting worse and worse, and we thought it was the drains. So we plugged up all the drains. You really get hit, like when you leave the place and you come back, and like the air's stagnant, and it just, as soon as you walk in, it's like, oh, you take a breath of it, and it's so bad. You know, and I opened the window and tried to burp the room. It just could not get rid of the smell. In fact, our clothes that we haven't washed yet, still, it's caked on there. My laptop case, you know, the shoes, like whatever you have, it's just caked with this smell. And then we thought maybe it was the garbage. We just couldn't find it. And then on the last night, I was like doing this nose test, and she said, oh, I think it's coming from the oven. Maybe it's a gas leak, but it's an electric oven. So it definitely wasn't a gas leak. And as I got down there, it was stronger. I smelled like it was stronger. So I opened up underneath the sink, and there's like this box there. And it kind of looks like a garbage disposal system, but like it doesn't grind it or anything. It wasn't hooked the electric. So it just seems like a box that catches stuff. And like that stuff must have just laid in there and laid in there. And it's just awful. And so the whole reason we went to Eastwood was to visit Christ Heritage Church and Pastor Exley. And because of that, like I lost my voice completely. I couldn't talk at all, like at all. It was so frustrating and so hard. Just a squeak would come out when I tried to talk to him. So it's like I traveled all the way there to meet him and talk to him, and I couldn't talk to anybody. So it was, in that regard, it was disappointing, but the worship was unbelievable. It was really phenomenal. I've never been to a church before where you have a dozen people standing for 2 hours because there's no seats available. That's how bad they want to be there for this service. And they have something very special going on there in Eastwood, and I'll talk maybe later on in another video, God willing. So we went to Cubao bus terminal, which each bus has their own terminal in Cubao. So we just went right back to the bus terminal that we got off on. And it was pretty awesome. We got out of the Grab, and the bus was leaving as we got out. It had a CR, a restroom in it, and we just jumped on and left right away. It was fantastic. So we got to Dau, which is the bus terminal for Angeles. I got a Grab, and the guy took forever to get there to begin with. It was like 16 minutes, which is like unheard of in Angeles, because most of the time you get a Grab, they're there in 4 or 5 minutes at tops. You know, so he took forever to come. And then we saw him, and we're standing there. We got 6 bags of stuff, and my wife goes up to him. He's like kind of stuck in traffic, but he's not pulling over. My wife goes up and taps on the window, and he just kept going. You know, it was his license plate and everything. It was It was the right car. He just kept going, and then he sends us a message and says, "Meet at the Shell station," which is the gas station, and it's like almost a block away. So we got all these bags, you know, again, here we go. We walk all the way down to the Shell station, and by the time we get there, he's already turned and crossed, and now he's on the opposite side of the road. And there's 4 lanes of traffic. So now we have to cross 4 lanes of traffic carrying all these bags and everything. And I was so frustrated, I was so upset. And he says, oh, I'm not allowed to stop there. Well, we weren't at the place where you weren't allowed to stop. We were at Jollibee. And that's the pickup point on Grab. We've been dropped off there many times. We've been picked up there before. I don't know how many times, maybe once. And as we were there were 2 other Grabs that stopped there and picked people up, and they were loading their bags in while we were there. So it's just a total lie. Just a total lie. And so I was so frustrated. I'm like, okay, you know. So then the guy turns off after we're in traffic for a little bit. He turns off the Grab and says that we've arrived at our destination. And I'm looking at my phone and I'm like, okay, is he taking us down an alley or something here to get us mugged? And sometimes when you're close to where you're going, the guys will shut it off a little early. That way they can grab the next one. But we were 20 minutes away from the hotel when he turned this thing off. So we had to give him directions the whole time on how to get to where we were going, where if he'd have left the thing on, you know, he's probably trying to act like he delivered us quicker than he did. So we have all these bags when we arrive, and my wife forgot her book bag laying on the floor. And that book bag is where we put all of our important stuff, particularly the power converter, so we can charge all of our electronics. Again, we have 6 bags, so it's not unheard of to accidentally forget one of them. So she forgot it on the floorboard of the car. I immediately start trying to call the guy on the app. He won't answer. He will not answer the phone. You can't text him because after the ride's done, the text feature stops. But you know, I'm calling him. I call him like 20 different times, and I got to pay 25 cents a minute every time that thing answers on their answering service. But I wanted our stuff, and would not answer. So I sent an email to Grab, and Grab doesn't respond. So finally I found a chat feature that the first time I went through it, it's all automated responses, but I just kept putting in there something like, let me talk to a representative or a supervisor or something. I just kept typing in there. Eventually it gave me to this lady named Angel who was willing to text back and forth. So I was able to text Grab, and I said, look, we're getting on a flight. I need that stuff. And she says, well, he's not answering the phone. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. You know, this was, when I got a hold of her, it was probably 4 hours after he let us off. She says, well, whenever I stop texting you, then I can actually send him an SMS, which is like a regular text message. I said, okay. She said, I'll update you in your email. So about 2 hours after that, I get an email from Angel, and she says, still haven't got a hold of him, but in the future, when you get out, make sure you verify with the driver that you've gotten all your bags, and giving me like this laundry list of, you know, you screwed up, it's your fault, you know. Yeah, I agree, like, it's our fault we didn't double check. And the reason I didn't double check was because I was so upset at this guy for what he just did to us. And I was concerned with getting a bag. He put me in the front seat and put one of our bags in the back seat with my wife. And so I was preoccupied with getting that bag out of there, and then getting the bags out of the trunk. And I saw him look in the back seat before he left, and I'm pretty sure he saw it. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure he saw the bag, because I saw him looking back there before he got in. And that's why he's not answering his phone. That's why he's not responding to Grab's text and everything. So back home, if I was back in the United States, I'd call the police, you know. But I can't trust the police here. And I call the police, and now I'm going to be expected to pay them off to do something for me. It's just it's an absolute nightmare. But the good news is we have our passports. Thank God our passports wasn't in the bag. And we have most of our other valuable stuff. I have my laptop. I have my iPad. We have our phones. My wife had a little bit of jewelry that she brought with her. We still have that. But all together we're probably out $100 and some, I guess, sentimental things. I was actually going to do a video on that converter system that I had, because I used it last time I came to the Philippines back in 2019, and it's just wonderful. You plug it into the wall, and then it has these USB ports and 4 plugs that you can plug stuff into, and it regulates everything because the power system here isn't all that safe. And it's 220, and I think our stuff runs off of 120 or whatever it is, in the US, so it makes it safer. So that was our experience getting sick in Manila, and then dealing with this and losing the bag and everything. But God willing, we're praying that everything goes smooth in the flight. But with this sickness now, not only did I lose my voice, but I woke up this morning, my nose is completely plugged, and I'm coughing up phlegm by the gallon, and I feel like crap. And we have 40 hours from the time we take off in Clark before we land in Pittsburgh. 40 hours. So it's a 10-hour and change flight to Qatar. Then we have a 10-hour layover. Then it's a 15 and change hour flight to Philly. And then once we're in Philly, we got like a 4 or 5 hour flight or delay until we get to Pittsburgh. So I don't know where we fit in any kind of sleep in there. I can't sleep on the plane. These planes now, for whatever reason, the government has allowed them to reduce the space down that my knees are touching the seat in front of me. And I'm squished into a seat like a sardine in a tin can. And you can recline back 6 inches or something like that. So it's like this, I can't sleep. And then if you're at the airport, you got to worry about somebody coming up and grabbing your bag or shoving something in it, so you can't sleep at the airport. Which, you'll be sitting on the floor anyways. So lots of grumbling here, I know, but I'm getting ready to run the gauntlet when I'm not feeling good, and it makes it even worse. We're afraid of heights. All the turbulence freaks us out on the planes. The older we get, just shakes the crap out of your body. But God willing, we'll get through it just like everybody else. I'm not saying anything that many of you watching this haven't experienced. And in some ways, I need to look at the glass half full. We're still alive. The most important things, we didn't get robbed from us. We didn't get stolen. We didn't get jacked over here. We're so careful. In fact, I was going to do a video on all the different things that we did, and maybe I will, that helped us from becoming a victim while we were here. But as it turns out, we're a victim anyways. Oh well, what are you going to do, But looking forward to going home. Hopefully get a couple days sleep. Actually find medicine, to help me deal with whatever the heck this is that I have. My guess is it's like some kind of mold or something, because I know like certain molds you can get sick, black mold and different things like in houses make you sick. This would be like amplified mold times a million, like mold on steroids, probably in that can that was under that sink. So that's all. I just want to record this stuff, that way I can remember it. Probably don't want to remember this part, but I want to document anyway, so, okay, God bless.